morning and happy Monday. I love Mondays. Mondays is like a new start, if I had a bad week last week, this is a whole new week. So if you've had a bad week last week, this is a whole new week, and let's start Monday with a little bit of cheer and inspiration. So inspiration this morning. These are scarves that are my favorite to make right now. They're called I call them Wabi Sabi scarves. It's a class that I teach online and in person. So if you would like to learn how to make these scarves out of what you have at home, I would love to hear from you. Let me know. I can book more classes. I can book private classes. Just let me know. Let me shove these. Well, first of all, let's start with this scarf. It has a wide range of yarns in it, and I used one reed. So I'm not using a very dent reed for this. I think I used a 8 dent reed for this particular scarf. And you can see there are yarns in there that should not be in an 8 dent reed. So, you know, this one should be in like a 5. This one should be in about a 12.5. That one's probably good for an 8 because it's super fuzzy. But as you can see, the yarns that are in here, there's a wide range of yarns, and yet I'm doing it all on an 8 dent reed with creative warping and weaving. And they're all in my warp, so even though they're all different weights, they are all in my warp. So let's just have a look at some of the yarns. I have a mohair and silk. I think I have a couple of those actually. Just this one. I have, this one is a cotton. It's a really lovely cotton. This one is rainy. I think that's a plant fiber. I don't actually know much about it, but it wove up in here beautifully. This one is Feely by Illimani, which I can't remember the fiber content, but it's Feely if you wanted to look it up, and it is spectacular, super fuzzy. It worked out really, really well in here. I have a Malabrigo lace, which I would normally use on a 12.5 dent reed, but I'm using it in an 8. I have Malabrigo lace, again, that I would use on a 15 dent reed, but worked well on my 8 with some creative work. This is a Manos d'Uruguay yarn. So this was actually, you know, this is good for an 8 dent reed. I have another Illimani. I can't remember what this one is called. Maybe Cadena, maybe Lama 2. Anyways, it's a chain yarn. It's super bulky. It would actually be much better in a 5 dent reed. You can see it's quite, that's just 3 wraps there. So it's a really heavy yarn. I can't remember what this one is, but it is lovely. It is a cotton and alpaca, I remember that. I just can't remember what it's called. I've got more lace or silk and mohair, and I've got more Malabrigo lace. Now there were a few other yarns in here that I used as well, but I've got them all used up. I'm just gonna chuck these on the floor, so they're out of the way. Oh, and I used this one as well, which is a really lovely boucle just in the natural. And these are some other scarves that I made with the same idea. So Wabi Sabi, embracing the imperfection, because you don't know when they're on the loom just how they're going to turn out. But they always, I haven't had one yet not work, not look beautiful off the loom. So I love these scarves. They're a great way to use up your stash. And they're a great way to remind you that weaving is about putting things together and weaving them together and creating something that would never, you know, bringing out all the beauty in the fibers and just letting them really shine, because plain weave is beautiful. I've got a couple more here as well. So that's enough about Wabi Sabis. I'm just gonna set those aside for now. Next up, I went shopping this weekend because I bought this book. It's called The Bag Making Bible by Lisa Lam. It's a fantastic book. It goes through the basics of bag making. It's got some great patterns in it, and I decided I would get a book and learn how to make some purses with the fabrics that I have. And again, back to creativity, I want to say patterns are guidelines. So you can follow the pattern step by step by step, and color for color and yarn for yarn, or you can branch out and you can make it your own. And that's what I really want weavers to do, is to take what you have and turn it into something spectacular. So this is fabric that I've woven up this weekend. It is using the ladder towel pattern, which when you see that pattern, you'll see it's either in a solid or the warp and weft are the same color with the Monte Cristo in there as a contrast. This one I warped up in green, and I knew I was going to run out of the green. So here we have what I had left of the green warped up. I think it's enough for a little bag. Then I switched to yellow just to see what it looked like. And then I threw in the green, and I'm hoping that this is sparking retro vibes, because I'm looking for retro fabric to make one of these lovely purses out of. I'm not quite sure it turned out exactly as I had hoped. I'm hoping that it's going to work for one of the bags out of this book. Finally, the last thing I want to talk about is, second to last. I went shopping this weekend, came across this macrame cotton, and thought this might make a great rug. So I am going to try with this. I'll use it as the weft only and see if I can come up with a good washable floor mat out of this. I think that'll be nice summery colors. So if you have any ideas, let me know. If you've used this for weaving before, I would really love to hear what your thoughts are on it. It's the Bernat macrame yarn. And then really finally this time, I did do a little bit of sewing this weekend. My sewing is not going well. I look at 30-second videos and I'm like, oh, I can do that. That's super easy. And 3-4 hours later, this is what I get, which is not bad, but I'm noticing some problems that, when I go to sew the trim across the top is going to cause some troubles. So I'm reminding myself the same thing I remind you all the time. Be kind to yourself. You're learning a new skill. It's not going to be perfect the first time. So just relax. Remember that you're doing this as a hobby, as a way to relax, as a way to let go of the troubles of the world. So learn to embrace the imperfections, the learning process. Remember that when you started to walk as a child, you didn't just get up and start running. You had a lot of falls before you were ever successful at walking. Remember that in your weaving, and be kind to yourself.